Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part 6 of our Fighting Fantasy micro review. So what we've been doing, we've been going through these Fighting Fantasy Gamebooks, giving like concise, kind of light-hearted little mini reviews about a little bit of background information about the books and generally what we think about them. And yeah, so this is the last block in what's generally called the Green Spine era from Puffin Books, and this is going to be number 51 to 59, and yeah, let's crack on.
Board Games 4K.
So number 51 is The Isle of the Undead, and this is written by Martin, who yeah, goes under the pseudonym of Carl Sargent, right? Yeah, this one it's not too bad. It's what happens is that the Isle of what's it called, Solani Island, used to be inhabited by a load of wizards, and it seems like the wizards are no longer sort of in charge over there, and some fishing boats go missing, and some people reckon that they've seen sort of zombies appear and get up and walk, or dead people get up and walk. So yeah, you're a fisherman. You go off and your boat gets shipwrecked, and you get washed up on Solani Island, and you have to go and investigate. And yeah, it's not too bad. This one, it's a quite interesting book, and I'll tell you what, it's bloody hard as well, because this one is a lot of sort of codes you got to work out. Like, straight off the bat, you're sort of asked about names, and you've got to match names to numbers and then turn to a paragraph, and if the paragraph starts with one of them's a beginning one, so like what if it starts with what if or something, then yeah, you've done it right. But it's really tough. Some really sort of tough encounters in this one. I mean, what was it? Is it an Earth Elemental or something? It's got like skill 10 or something daft like that. And yeah, it's a really hard book, and it's got one of those sort of anti-cheat things in it, where, you know, like we said, you've got the code, and yeah, this one is pretty good. You don't start with any weapons either, and there's a mistake in it, I think. Yeah, you got honour listed on the adventure sheet. You can see that. I don't know if you can see that. Might be a bit bright. You've got honour listed on the adventure sheet, but it should be called presence, like one of the scores. And yeah, it says you'd be more likely to attract enmity. The enmity and the unwanted attention of evil life-hating creatures and monsters. So yeah, Isle of the Undead, not bad, and yeah, it's another decent effort from Carl Sargent. You've got various different paths in this, and you can intertwine between all the different paths. And yeah, this one's got the honour score, whereas the other one had present, so there's a misprint on the adventure sheet. And yeah, this one is a bit of a race against time, so you've got a limited amount of time to get through this one. So what's happening with this is the Night Dragon exists in another plane, and its power's increasing, and it's threatening to burst through into the earthly realm to consume all humanity, and you've got to go off and get it, and you need to get some artifacts and stuff. And yeah, it's okay. It's not as good as some of the other Keith Martin books, but it keeps the series ticking along nicely. And yeah, it's another sort of semi-interesting book by Carl Sargent / Keith Martin, Night Dragon, number 52. So number 53 is Spellbreaker by Jonathan Green. He wrote this when he was at university. I think he must have been, well, between the ages of 18 and 21, and kind of shows. I mean, the grammar in this is pretty bad. I mean, yeah, I had another little look through this one, and some of the passages, you can tell they're written by, how do you put it, somebody with not much experience. But that doesn't mean it's a bad book, because it's actually all right if you can get over that. So what happens is that a book's been nicked, and yeah, the infernal beast will be unleashed on the old world. It's set in the old world, yeah. Yeah, the thing about this is that you actually sort of inadvertently get the book nicked, as you befriend this bloke, and you take him to a monastery, and he ends up nicking the book. So yeah, it's on you, right? And that's a little bit different, you know. So yeah, I mean, this is like we said, this is written by Jonathan Green, and if there's one bloke who has had an impact, more of an impact lately in the last few years in keeping the legacy of these books alive, it's Jonathan Green, because he's been involved with Fighting Fantasy Fest, he's written other books in the series, he's still writing game books actually, and he wrote these two what they call coffee table books called You Are the Hero Parts 1 and 2. They're down there, so maybe we'll have a look. And yeah, I think if it weren't for the efforts of Jonathan Green, I think that maybe this hobby, maybe these books might have, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't have captured the imagination, maybe they'd not still be in print, I don't know. But yeah, he's done loads for this, for these books. And whilst this isn't his greatest effort, you know, because I think I think he's on record as saying that he submitted this and they turned it down, and he had to go back and rewrite it or something. And you can sort of tell because the writing in it's I won't say atrocious, but it's not that good. But yeah, Spellbreaker number 53. Number 54 is a book that kind of gets under my skin a little bit. It really does annoy me that Carl Sargent wasn't credited for writing this one, that Ian Livingstone took the credit. Yeah, he really does try really hard to sort of you know, get something new going on, and you can see by the cover, like, sort of you can take control of one of 4 characters, and yeah, it's a really good idea. Yeah, really impressed with that. And yeah, so this is like a sort of a Zagel's been fleshed out a bit more, you know, whereas before he was just some sort of like reclusive hermit that just lived in a far top mountain, gardener's treasure. Now he's sort of some evil beast that's been resurrected. He's like some demon bloke, as you can see. And yeah, this is like a sort of a castle setting, and you've got 2 levels, and then the big bad at the end, I think. And yeah, it's good. It's a good one. You know, if anything, it's just more of a, you know, that sort of like we said before, it takes you back to that that sort of, it's not a risk-taking thing, but it's like a, you know, where they're trying to push the boat. It's more like a video game, because you can explore. You might go off on one path and then you can come back on yourself and you can explore the other bit. You know, you're not sort of, it's not a linear book. It's like I say, it's more like a, because obviously, what year is this? 1994, is it? It's 1993. So you think, well, they're, like we said, competing with video games, and there's an influence there, I think, you know, because we think Ian Livingstone did actually sort of create IDOS, I think, and it went into video games. So yeah, there's definitely that sort of video game influence in this one. And yeah, while it's just a sort of a bog standard sort of dungeon crawl, sort of castle crawl, you know, it's there's definitely new ideas. It's just a real shame that, you know, this was so late in the series, because there's so much dross in Fighting Fantasy that, you know, it pains me to say it. But yeah, this one, this definitely, if you're going to get one, you know, of these later books, this is the one you should be looking at. It's really good. So just as we thought we were on the up, you know, just as we thought we got out of jail, just as we thought that the ship had not sailed, out comes Deathmore to ruin everything. This, oh man, number 55. Why? I mean, look at that. Look, it's about as thin. I don't know. That's really thin. And I mean, there's nothing to this one. I mean, yeah. So it's just a bog standard, you know, go and rescue the princess thing, and it's boring. It's just not very good. I mean, it's like a, what does it say? It's a race against time, isn't it? Your rival, King John Thane, has already given the quest to rival Fang Zen of Jitar. I mean, come on, man. This sounds like this is going back to the days of Skylord, right? You know, it's just not a very good book, and it's a real tragedy that they bring you up with 4 really decent books, and then they smash you in the face and they release Deathmore. I mean, really, this is like a sort of a metaphor for where this was going, because there's not many of these left, and it's almost like they're sort of deliberately trying to put people off so they don't have to publish it anymore. But yeah, I don't know what to say. You know, you must think I'm really negative, but it's the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you. you know. And I'm sorry, but this one, Deathmore, you know, oh, let's just go and, I don't know, fall asleep somewhere else. Number 56, now we're talking. We're back. It's Jonathan Green. He's learnt his lesson. He's been doing some practice writing, and he's released Knights of Doom. And look, that cover, I don't know what to make of it. It's a bit crap, but then when you look harder, it looks actually quite good. And the cover artist is Tony Howe, Tony Hoare, and he does the internal artwork, of which there's not that much, I noticed. And yeah, so in this one you're one of the Knights Templar, and Belgoroth, the evil sorcerer, has reawakened. I think he reawakened. Yeah, he's been returned from the dead, and he's enlisted the help of the Knights of Doom to destroy the world, and you have got to stop them. And yeah, this one, like I said, it's he's learnt his lesson, I think. Jonathan Green, he's honed his skills, and he's produced a really good book. It's actually quite good. I mean, this has got the honour score in it as well, and what makes this one stand out is you've got some excellent skills in this, and it's a really thick one. I mean, compared to Deathmore, I mean, let's have a look. Look. It's almost like Deathmore has been on an ice cream binge, you know. So yeah, there's that as well. So yeah, so you've got skills. You've got you can choose 4 out of, what is it, 8? Well, you've got warrior skills, priest skills, and so you can go either 2 paths. And it's the writing has improved, like we said, and it's a really good book. This is one of the better ones, and I'm hoping that this is going to be there's not going to be any more rubbish in this list. That this one signals near the end. And it's, you know, we're going to end on a high. Let's hope so. But yeah, just if we all put our heads together and think positive thoughts, then we might end the series on a high. What do you reckon? The number 57 is Mage Hunter, and I'll tell you something about this one. If we can get it in, I'll tell you something about this one. When I was making these videos, I mean, I didn't realise this one goes for silly money. This one's like 250 quid on eBay, and I don't know why, because I mean, how much I paid for it? $3.99 I paid for this one, and it's like its value has increased, like, you know, God, I don't know. But Mage Hunter, right? This one, you're going about your business, you're hunting these wizards out around, and you start off the adventure in another world, and you get dragged into Titan. You don't start there, you end up being dragged through a portal or whatever, and you're hunting down this wizard called God, what's his name? God, I can't remember his name now. His name is Mencius. You're hunting him down, and you capture him, and he escapes and captures your son, I think it is. And so you go from pursuer to pursued, if that makes sense. And yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, you know, I don't really think they knew what to do with this one, because there's a lot of illustrations in this, like on 2 pages. I mean, come on, man, this is like, it's a bit of a rip. I mean, there's like pictures on every other, it's like reading the local newspaper, you know. There's pictures on every other page, and yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, there's some pretty good encounters in this. You know, the artwork's pretty good. The incensed innkeeper you've got to do over. So yeah, I mean, God, Demon of the Ring, skill 12, stamina 20. I didn't come across him, but yeah, Mage Hunter. I mean, is it worth the money? It's probably because it's so rare. I don't know why this one's so rare. Just think, if you bought like 10 of these, you'd be laughing to the bank, wouldn't you? But Mage Hunter, it's alright, but I wouldn't pay 250 quid for it, you know what I mean? Number 58, he's back, and it's Keith Martin's final book, and it's the Revenge of the Vampire, number 58. And yeah, this is a great one. It really is good. It's another sought after book, and yeah, Count Hydric has come back from the dead, and you are entrusted to go and hunt him down. And yeah, this one it's got the same, it's basically the same sort of thing. You've got the faith points, and also you've got blood points in this one as well. And yeah, so you gain blood points from destroying artifacts that the Count owns, and gaining knowledge about him and stuff. Yeah, so all in all, this one's quite an atmospheric book. It's again, it's bloody difficult to complete this one, and you know, like we said before, I don't know if you, obviously if you haven't watched the rest of these videos, you wouldn't know what I was going on about, but I mean, we said about Sword of the Samurai, how did samurais appear on Titan, and it's the same with, like, even though you've got like Titan's like a medieval sort of thing, you know, you've got a sort of a traditional vampire character that's come out of nowhere, so that's a bit weird. But yeah, it's Keith Martin's final effort in the series. He probably would have written some more, I would imagine, but Puffin had other ideas. But yeah, Revenge of the Vampire, I mean, again, it's not worth 100 quid, because yeah, it's 4 quid back in the day. But yeah, it's one of the, it's a strong entry, and it's very, very atmospheric. You know, if you want a game book that's got that really nice gothic feel, then Revenge of the Vampire is the one who wants to bite your finger. Here we are then, finally the end of the road. Well, it's actually not, but for the green spines at least, but we're going to carry on. And well, anyway, yeah, Curse of the Mummy number 59, another Jonathan Green effort, and he must be gutted because he's just starting to hit his stride. He's just been commissioned to write another book, and Puffin pulled the plug. Oh my god, that's just evil, isn't it? You know, what an awful thing to do. But Curse of the Mummy. So you're in the Desert of Skulls with your mate, and you find out that this cult of people are trying to resurrect. They're trying to resurrect the evil pharaoh. They're trying to resurrect him, and you decide that you ain't having none of that, and you're going to stop them. So this one is it's a really good effort by Jonathan Green. I really like Curse of the Mummy. It's a really good book, but there was a problem with this one. There's a major problem with this one, is it was too bloody hard. This one was just insanely difficult, and what they had to do, if I'm correct in this, they had to, when Wizard Books took over the Fighting Fantasy franchise, they changed it. They changed it to make it easier, because this one was just it was like a migraine. It came with a box of Nurofen. That's how hard it was. And yeah, but this one's really, I really enjoyed this book. It's really good, and I remember reading this quite a few times because it was the last one, so you wanted to see how it would end. It's a strange number to end on, isn't it? Number 59. Why would you do that? I mean, at least end on number 69, for God's sake. Yeah, so that is Fighting Fantasy Green Spines. You know, they did carry on with it. They did release other books, and they did write other books. I mean, Wizard Books, they took over the name, and they did something that I don't really annoys me. It still annoys me to this day. They renumbered all the books, and they dumped Sorcery Epic in there with all the other books, and that to me is just blasphemy. They shouldn't have done that. But yeah, thankfully Wizard Books aren't doing it anymore. They've handed it back over to Scholastic. So what are we going to do next? I suppose we're going to have to do the other books. We got the legendary Bloodbones. You've got Howl of the Werewolf, and what else you got? You got Storm Slayer, Night of the Necromancer. What else we got here? Eye of the Dragon, which I haven't read, so I'm going to read that one before we do it. I'm going to read it, and we'll come back to that one. And then you've got Blood of the Zombies, Port of Peril, and Gates of Death. So I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna have a look, and then we're gonna come back here, and I'll give you a little run through, and we'll do it again. That's if you want to, of course. If you don't, then go away, get out of my house, because you're not wanted. You're like a son that's been kicked out. Yeah, that's it. That's the Green Spines. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, and I enjoyed making them, then please subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, do something, anything. Just do something useful, and we'll see you next time.